This is my review of the AEG 58 volt battery powered line trimmer. They make a brush cutter as well these days, but when I bought this, the line trimmer was the only such thing available. It's been a reasonably good thing over the years. So I bought this in 2018 after buying the original one in 2016. I had some problems with it. I'll go through those later, but this one's 2018, so I've been using it since then. So I've had this for a bit over 4 years. Now, it's a pretty simple thing to use. We've got a trigger on top and underneath. Away it goes. It comes apart there for storage, but I don't use that. I set it up like there and hang it. Makes it pretty simple to get down and use. Now, with a battery powered line trimmer, it changed the way that I use a line trimmer. I used to have a petrol one, a little 2-stroke one, had that for 10 years or something. And with that, all my jobs would build up, and then I'd eventually decide, right, I've got to go and do this, and I'd spend the day trimming. I'd mix up the petrol and I'd get it going. It took a bit to get it going, and particularly had to fiddle with the choke until I finally got it going. And then once it was warm, it was good, and so I'd use it all and do all of my jobs while it was warm. With this thing, I just pick it up and use it and put it back again, and so I'll use this for 20 minutes a day, but a lot of days, every day in the spring and a couple of times a week in the summer. Whereas the petrol one was probably once a month. I'd use it for an entire day. Now, this particular one, so with the AEG, it has the motor up this end, a shaft running down and runs the head through the shaft. So that's like a traditional petrol one. There are other models, other brands available that have the motor in the head, which sounds like a great idea, but I've had no problems with this style here. It's probably louder than others. You can hear it making noises all the way through here. The head itself is a pretty simple thing to take off and service. So it's got 2 little catches in here. You push those in and it pops out. Let's see, so there we go there. And to put it back in, you just sort of hook it back in there, push it in and pop them in. That's a lot simpler than my previous one, but then my previous one was 10 years older than this, and so it's probably, heads like this are probably the same no matter what you get these days. This is a bump head, so you can, while you're running it, you bump that on the ground and it will automatically put out a certain amount of line, and when it gets out to this trimming cutter here, then it'll cut off to that length. I don't really like that idea because I don't want to cut any off and have it wasted. So I tend to sort of stop, look at it, go, oh yeah, that could be a bit longer, and then I'll push that in while pulling on the line and pull it out a bit more. And that way I never actually reach the cutter. Oh, there I would there. So let's wind it back in again, like so. And there. That's the way I use it. Your mileage may vary. It sometimes gets stuff wrapped around in here. Now I'll see if I can get a better picture of that. And so you can pull it out like so. Looking in there, you can actually get stuff into the bearing, which doesn't sound like a great design feature, but I've never had any problems with that. And I've used it quite a lot over the years. What I have is the 4 amp hour silver top battery. The new battery, they're called Ultimate, I think. They have a black top. They're designed a bit differently. My understanding is they're lighter for the 4 amp hour one, and there's also an 8 amp hour one, which should go twice as long. And so with these ones, so they have a handy battery capacity indicator there. This one's at 2 bars at the moment out of 4. I like these batteries, they slot in very nicely. As easy as that to put in, and you can take it out even with one hand. Push a button on the top here to take it out. I've put this particular guard on it. There was another guard came in the kit which would have protected me quite a bit better, but I found it very irritating to use that large guard, so I put this particular guard on. You'll see when I'm trimming that I wear a face shield, because I do, especially in the long hard stuff, it does tend to hit against me all down my body, more down lower and less up high, but I still wear a face shield, else I'd get the odd bit of grass at my face. It works probably slightly better than my previous petrol version. It's a little bit bigger machine, a bit more torquey. Doesn't go as long on a charge as what the petrol one did on a tank of petrol. But as I said, it's very easy to use. It's changed the way that I use them. I certainly much prefer a battery for a battery powered unit for what I do here. So let's try it out and see how it goes. This is my job for this morning. I've got these small trees here and the grass has grown up around them. I've mown with a mower on the side and I just need to trim around the trees. It's always interesting to see how long these battery tools will last, so we'll start this timer. So down the bottom, press go. So that's that battery finished. I'd normally stop there, but I've got another battery, so let's go do some more. Forgot to show this, it's 23 minutes. There's some longer grass here. I've got another battery, so let's just see how long it'll go on this, this long stuff. Start there. So on that you could see I was doing it I did the top bit and then I did the middle bit and then I did the bottom bit. I'll show you what happens if I just do it all in one without doing the top bit first. Yeah, it's got all wound up. Need to take that out. It's not too hard to do, but you can avoid it if you do the top section first and then don't just cut it off in one big long length. Cut it off in one big long length in this grass, it'll wrap around there and get inside. So on the really heavy going, it's been about 10 minutes. Here's the battery charger. This is the battery that I took out after my first go this morning, and this is the one I've just discharged now. So this one has been charging for about 10 minutes. It's just flashing on the last bar there. Hopefully you can see that. It's almost full. So if I was doing the hard stuff, the long stuff, you could come back here and change it. So I only got 10 minutes on the run on the battery, but I could come back here and this one's almost full after 10 minutes of charging. So you could swap it over and go back with this one and do a continuous run if you have two batteries. If you don't have two batteries, you'll get the run times that I previously showed you, and that's it. Two batteries is certainly very useful. The new batteries come in an 8 amp hour version, and so you could potentially get twice. I'm not sure on the prices, but it might be more useful to get two 4 amp hour batteries than one 8 amp hour battery. So this first battery is still charging, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge the second battery. So the one that lasted me 10 minutes or so in the long stuff, and I'm going to see how long it takes to charge. So here's the second one. I'll take this first one out. Look how dirty this is. And I'll put this second one in. So you can see at the moment it's just reading 2. So that wouldn't drive the tool anymore. And it's just recovered itself a little bit sitting around. So it probably would drive the tool again for a little bit more now, but not very much. It's pretty well flat. Put that in, press start. I quite like these batteries. The charger is weird though, because you can't sort of put it on the wall. You pull the battery out, it comes off the wall. So I've got it on the ground. I have to put my foot on it to take it out. I went through that in a bit more detail in my chainsaw review previously. They're fine once you get used to it, but it's weird. I've looked online at the new style batteries, the blacktop batteries, and the reviews of those say that they've fixed those things. The new charger and the new batteries are better in that respect. So hopefully that's the case. Something I also saw is that these older style batteries can be pulled apart, and you can replace a cell if a cell goes flat, goes dodgy, burns out or whatever in one of these. It can be replaced if you're a good DIY battery person. Whereas the new ones are potted in a way that means that you can't change a cell out of the can't be repaired at all. So in that case, I would prefer the older style silver top ones, but the new ones are lighter for the same amount of power, and you can get the 8 amp hour one, which is a more powerful one as well. Now, I've had some problems with reliability on this machine, at least on the original one I got. So the original one I got was one of these line trimmers with the 4 amp hour batteries in 2016. Now, the problems that I had was that I'd be using it and it'd cut out, and I wouldn't know why it'd cut out, and then a little while later it'd start working again, and then it'd cut out again. I only had one battery at the time, and so I didn't know what it was. And so I took it back to under warranty, and they decided it was probably the battery, and so they replaced the battery. Worked for a little while again, and then did the same thing. Now, at one stage, I ended up buying another battery because all this thing's going on, and I thought it would be useful even though it's expensive. And it is very useful, but it is very expensive as well. So I worked out that, yes, it's the battery, and so I had the battery replaced a couple of different times, probably 3 or 4 batteries I got under warranty. A battery has a 1 or 2 year warranty, depending on whether you got the extended warranty or not. They were very happy to do that. There was no problems at all. But it kept on happening. And so eventually I met the AEG rep in Bunnings one time and spoke to him about my woes, and he said, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Let's just replace the whole lot," because he couldn't tell whether it was the tool ruining the batteries or the charger ruining the batteries, but I bought all 3 at the same time as a package. And so they were all under warranty. So he just replaced the lot. So he replaced the tool, the charger, and both of my batteries in 2018. And it's been perfect since. Haven't had a single problem since. So whatever it was, he did the right thing because he stopped having all these batteries replaced. So I can say that this one has been very reliable, and I have only good things to say about AEG's customer service. So all in all, I'm very happy with this device. It's changed the way that I do my trimming. It's perfect if you use it frequently. So that first bit of grass that I did there, I had done probably 3 weeks before, and it was still soft. It hadn't grown. It wasn't overgrown. If you do it like that, it's a really good tool. You can go for, what did I get? 20 or 30 minutes or something like that, which is enough for me. That's how much I want to do. I don't really want to do any more at a time. With 2 batteries, you can do more than that if you want to at a time. But this would be fine for a use case like mine with only a single battery in most cases. And then you'd get around it if you didn't have the second battery. You'd just go and charge it up and come back and do the job later. With the long cutting, the long grass cutting, this is okay for doing it every now and then, but it's not a brilliant tool if that's your main job. And so they now have a brush cutter with a blade on it. That would be by far, I would imagine, be by far the better tool for that particular job if you're doing a lot of it. So that's my review. Thank you for watching.